Welcome back, lords and ladies, to another AOPK 2.0 House Martell campaign. Now, it's been quite a while since the last time I recorded this, and I do apologize for that, but I've come back to finish off the series since the Hotseat has officially ended. And it's ended... I'll let you know how it ends in a few turns here, but I'm gonna just kind of hash over a few things really quick before we get to that. So, I skipped ahead at least 10 turns or so because, in all honesty, my faction is just kind of a reinforcement faction, army-wise. Like, without this army, our faction is nothing, basically. So, I'm not gonna really care about this part because my faction is just crap. And, yeah, it's just not worth it. No offense to myself or any fans of House Martell, but right now, one army was not enough to justify 10 turns of just moving around. So, there you go. Anyways, the Green Senpai, who was the last errant player, he had to sustain, or he couldn't continue playing due to reasons in the real world. And I had to take up the torch, as it were, and I was happy to do so because that really justified me being in the hot seat. And he was my ally, so I really didn't feel comfortable with a new person because I was probably just going to get wrecked by somebody else. But yeah, my initial plan was to start moving out this way with both armies. And it doesn't show that this turn, but next turn it will. So that's just the thing, is at that point, like, it was about turn 50 when I took over for him. And I'll show a few things what I did, but otherwise the Greyjoys have taken Hurrah Keep. The Durandons came around sea and they took all the islands. And then they took that, and then the Aarons and I were going to mount an assault on them. We got about right here, and then the Greyjoys were closing in, and then they withdrew. They just withdrew from Hurrah Keep. And then they started going around this way, so I had to move the armies back just in case they attacked. And then they came back all the way. They're all the way over here now, but that's besides the point. Yeah, so they were planning on sending it down south to continue the assault on House Durandon. Now I will see you guys in turn 56. Alright, turn 56. We're moving on out. The goal is to move further out this way. Now let's just scout over here. So initially I'd done that, and then I moved the army back over here, and then we move over this way by turn 57. So that's kind of what happened. And let's see what we have. Oh, also I wanted to say that, no, not here, but well, I can't really say it this. Here, I'll say it for this one because it makes more sense if we look at it from this point of view. I did take the first Aeron princess and marry her to my faction heir. I know that's a waste of a princess, but at the time, I didn't really feel like there was any point not to. I mean, I could still steal a general with her, so I didn't think there was anything wrong with, you know, doing that. So, solidifying the alliance between the two houses in the Vale. Well, 3 houses. But, yeah, they're friendlies. So we had that happen. So I decided to move back over this way. And I tried keeping as many forces in castles as I could, so to keep the debt down, or at least at bay, so I could maybe sack some big city like, I don't know, well, not King's Landing, but, you know, some big city like Old Town and get like 20 grand or something. Anyways, this princess I moved over this way somewhere. And we run into this guy, and I did get him in the family, and then I attacked that army and he was shotgunned back over this way. So we have stolen a family member from them, which was great. And then we had another guy come over here, and that's pretty much just gonna go like that. Now, we were at a stalemate here. There was a few regions down here I gave up to the Greyjoys because I had no money and there was no point in me keeping them. So that's another tidbit I forgot to mention. And yeah, that's really not. There really hasn't been that much happening besides being attacked by Hershey Keep, but even then, there's not that much happening for House Aaron and House Martell. So we'll see you guys in the next. All right, on to the very last turn, and yes, this is the last turn of the hot seat and series. We made it over here, and there's Dale Caron. I mean Duran, but he was, as I said, knocked back, just like we wanted. These are the final standings. Financially, we're still above somebody, surprisingly. Otherwise, those are the final rankings. Military summary. Battles won. Battles fought. Ouch. We had a very bad turn of events. But yeah, if we had won one more battle, we would have been perfectly even. Battles lost to 1 ratio, which is actually pretty sad. And we have way too many generals right now, which is perfectly fine. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Otherwise, I did want to show you guys King Harmon, all the way from like a 1 or a 0-star general up to a 7-star general, getting 5 authority. God damn. This guy is amazing. He's better than the Prince of Dorne, but that's probably because he's king, so. Yeah, wife is an Aaron, wife is admirable. So there you go. That's pretty much all for the, god damn, that music's gotta shut up. I like the music, but sometimes when it gets on one of those higher ones, it's just like, So yeah, the plan was to come out here. This place had turned rebel a long time ago. So the plan was to come for me to attack here. My personal plan, not anybody else's plan. Attack here, reclaim these 3 places, because going over here, you would take a turn to get close, another turn to besiege, another turn to take and then move, and then another turn to besiege and take. Whereas you could just go, boop, boop, boop. 2 places right next to each other. Another army goes that way. Perfect. Alright, so that's pretty much it. And a cat tried jumping up on me, which I'm going to reject. Rejected. Anyways, kind of summarize why we ended the hot seat is there was a major naval battle that it happened. I didn't even know anything about it until they posted screenshots. And I can put those on screen right now if my handiwork with Vegas Pro 13 is any good. But yeah, this was a major turning point in the war. We thought with Greyjoy, Lannister, Hightower, myself as the Aarons, and the tiny Martells, we could take on House Durrandon. Now there has been a movement to attack them, and back and forth we've, you know, gone to blows. There's a massive Lannister force here at some point that was defeated. It had besieged Sandstone. And they tried to take it, and it just didn't happen. There's been a massive, fort wall here, and it's just been, like, there were many more forces of Durrandon here, and there's many of them hiding in the trees, like this guy. 10-star generals are gonna kick your ass, let me tell ya. But yeah, there's been a lot of pushback. As you can see, the Lannisters have moved forward, but they're still holding on relatively well based on their fort walls and anything else. It was really difficult to get to this point for them. Well, just for all of us. I mean, it's great. I just want to say, great job to Satin, the player who took over House Durrandon. He did really well taking on a faction that really should have been able to, well, should have died actually to the combined forces of all of us. But he overcame us, and he held out. Now, not saying that we wouldn't have had a better chance or later on, because it's just annoying. But yeah, later on we probably could have pushed him back a little bit more due to the forces that were hung up here in the Vale, like my friend here, and there was another stack over here. Now, if I had ships, I could probably come and, attack the coast, and we break down the crown lands, and then he would have to be defending all the way back here, which would probably mean an imminent victory. Now, I doubt that would actually happen. That's me being optimistic. As it was, we would have to have both his army and this army in this fort attack salt pans and besiege it in order to take it, because the forces around here were enough to repel me last time I tried. And I did try, so that's why we have depleted forces. But yes, it was a very fun campaign, a very fun hot seat. I did enjoy it, and I do appreciate all the players who have stuck it out through the whole thing. Like Alert's been here the whole time. A man who played Greyjoy's been here the whole time. I myself have been here the whole time. I count the Green Senpai as being here the whole time. He just had things that he had to do in the real world. So he's here by all accounts because we took over for him. And the Lannisters are being played by a man now, so they weren't really here the whole time, and neither was Satin, but Satin took over relatively early on, so he's been here for most of the time. So just want to say thank you to all the veterans who have been here through this whole endeavor. It's been quite an interesting battle. Yeah, there was going to be a lot of progress in the Crown Lands. I think the Crown Lands were about to bend the knee, as it were, because the Greyjoys made some progress over here. But every bit of progress we made in one spot, they would push back. And then, let's see, they pushed back somewhere along the way. And then we pushed them back again. It was just a push and pull kind of thing. But yeah, just thank everybody for participating and being in this. It was a lot of fun. And yeah, just there you go. You can check over the last bits here. I'll scroll through a few of the through these. Let's see, here we go. The last human factions. Overall, Durandon obviously is still poning. The high towers are actually gaining quite a bit of momentum. So we were close to taking them on, the Durandons. Militarily, the Greyjoys and high towers are tied. Lannister has been used just a lot this time around as attackers, so they've kind of been a meat shield, so I can understand why their military went down. I didn't realize it went down that much, though. Myself is the Aarons. That makes sense. And Martells are obviously just slowly growing because I kept getting family members of age and more generals. Production, nobody really cares. Territorial, obvious, but still needs to be seen financially. The high towers are not broke, but myself, the Greyjoys, and Martell were all broke. Like, we've been broke for forever, honestly. It's not even yeah. Anyways, population-wise, we have the tiniest population because King of the North, why not? And there you have it. That's going to be the end of this hot seat. Thank you everybody for sticking it out the whole time. I'm sorry this has taken forever to come out, but I didn't have much to go off of for 10 turns, and I didn't want another, well, this is where we moved to this turn and next turn, so yeah, just deal with that, I guess. I'll see you guys in the next hot seat, probably the Medieval 2 Grand Campaign hot seat, or the possibly the Swiss mod hot seat too. So thanks everybody. See you next time. Berry night out.